Over the last few years, the Mana series has seen a resurgence with the first 3 games re-released in the Collection of Mana, as well as 3D remakes of Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana. The newest edition, Legend of Mana, is a remaster of the PS1 game. It's a decent adventure with a few things holding it back, but the new assets and features make it more accessible and inviting than ever before. Legend of Mana's world and story are presented in a more fractured manner than many RPGs of the time. Instead of exploring a sprawling connected landscape, the world's design is determined by the player placing locations on a grid-based map. It's an interesting approach that has pluses like being able to easily travel between destinations, but some of the charm of discovery is lost, with areas feeling more like stages rather than actually being parts of a vast world. The overarching narrative isn't particularly special, nor are the stories presented in a straightforward manner. Instead, most of the narrative is split up across various quest lines that are scattered throughout these stages. This fits with the game's design, but you're barely given any guidance on where to go next, so it can be hard to keep up. It's easy to find yourself walking around aimlessly between locations, looking for a clue to trigger the next event in a quest line. A first run can take around 15 hours, which may seem a little short for most JRPGs, but there are plenty of quest lines and events that are easy to miss on your initial journey. If you're looking to see every thread, it may be worth it to play with a guide. Thankfully, there's a New Game Plus option too, so you can go back to see what you missed with all your gear and levels. In terms of presentation, the work done here wonderfully translates the visuals of the original onto modern hardware. Its bright and colorful backgrounds look gorgeous and have been completely redrawn to fit a 16:9 display. The updated sprite work of its characters and enemies look clean and crisp as well. Yoko Shimomura's excellent score has been updated with new arrangements, which sound great. However, if you prefer the original, you can easily switch between versions in the options. You can also sit back and listen to the game's entire soundtrack at any time. Battles are similar to past Mana games, with encounters taking place in real time. There's a large number of weapon types to play around with, like swords, axes, and bows, as well as commands you can assign to buttons like special attacks and magic. There are a decent amount of tools to experiment with, but overall, combat is pretty shallow and basic. The game's also very easy, so there isn't a lot of incentive to try out new things. It's easy to get through the majority of the game by simply spamming basic attacks, since it's so easy to stun enemies. Like past Mana games, you can team up with a friend for some co-op, which is always a welcome addition. A new feature allows you to turn off enemy encounters if you want to easily move through a location, but even though the combat isn't very engaging overall, there's still some fun to be had, decimating your foes. Outside of combat and story, there are quite a few features to tinker around with, like blacksmithing, and a laboratory where you can make your own golem to use in combat. There's also a workshop where you can unlock magic spells or make instruments to entice elemental spirits found throughout the world. There's a lot to dig into here, if you wish, but it's very easy to ignore it all since none of it feels necessary to get through the game. Additionally, you can collect monster eggs and raise them to fight alongside you by feeding them and letting them graze around your grounds. New to this version of the game is Ring Ring Land, a mini-game where one of your monster companions moves on a game board, collects items, and fights other monsters. It serves as a fair way to stock up on some extra goods, but it's bare bones and forgettable. Legend of Mana never reaches any grand heights with its gameplay or storytelling, but there's enough going for it to keep you invested. It has an undeniable charm thanks to its gorgeous visuals and great soundtrack. It's a solid adventure that's been wonderfully updated to please new and old fans alike. Final score, 7 out of 10. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/EasyAllies to help us make more. Join for just $1 a month to check out Minigame Champions, a new 8-episode contest in which we battle each other in various minigames to see who can take the crown.